Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third episode of the Pissed Off Gamers podcast. I'm your host, John, alongside Brandon.
Hey.
And Alex.
What's up?
We hope you've all enjoyed the previous two episodes of the podcast, and towards the end of tonight's podcast, we will be answering some questions that were left for us in the comments section of our videos. Today we have a lot of topics to discuss, new and old, but we hope you very much enjoy this episode. If you have any suggestions for topics you want us to discuss and things we need to improve upon, make sure to leave some feedback in the comments and we will work to fulfill your feedback. Anyway, let us dive into today's podcast, if I can talk right. First thing we want to discuss is the newest Black Ops 4 update, which brought tuning to custom games, specialist balances, CWL variant settings for custom games, gun balance, return of the black market, and the return of Nuketown. So this update was pretty big. I think it was about 9 to 10 gigabytes. And after playing with it for some time, the game feels a lot better, but some stuff is still broken about it. If you guys want to voice your opinion at all.
I mean, yeah, there's still a lot of issues with the update. I mean, when Nuketown dropped, I kind of had mixed feelings. I don't know if I kind of like the look of how they kind of went with the Nuketown map, like kind of making it like more of like a Russian style. But I mean, it still looks like Nuketown. But I just think the spawns are still an issue.
Oh yeah, very very much an issue.
Guns like the Spitfire are still an issue. So I mean, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. So I don't think people should be completely happy with how this update went because it didn't.
Yeah,
there's still a lot of big issues that need to be fixed as spawns. But yeah, I mean, they nerfed some of the things. I mean, I think I don't even know. Like, it's just still. I mean, it's just not good yet, in my opinion.
Yeah. The game still has issues, in the multiplayer, the Blackout, and even in zombies. I'm not saying that it's a perfect game at the moment just based off of this update, but it's going in the right direction a little bit, but at the same time, it's kind of going on its own path down the wrong way.
Right.
But I like the new Nuketown. There's some things that are like different about it, just kind of like the style of it and how it looks now compared to the previous versions. But I've just been kind of liking just playing it again, because it's Nuketown. It's always been in the Black Ops games, and it's always been a fan favorite of mine. But it's just frustrating whenever you play, these certain game modes on Nuketown, and you're just getting spawn trapped, and it takes the fun out of playing it.
Right.
And
there's two things I would have to say that I hate about Nuketown. You can't play it in custom game. And the end cutscene, like, all you see is a rocket go up. That's it. Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like, I like how it was on, like, what was it? Black Ops 3? Like, how it's like an explosion off in the distance and it comes rushing in. That was a cool thing. But, like, this cutscene at the end is so stupid and dull.
Yeah. To add on to your comment about it not being in custom games, it will be added in the custom games in an upcoming update. They really just wanted to see how the map was going to play first before adding it into custom games.
Okay.
That was noticed among the community and the staff of Treyarch. So that will be going into custom games. Don't know when, but it will be soon. So just kind of stay tuned for it.
Yeah, we'll do.
Some of the guns got balanced and nerfed and buffed. One of which that stands out a little bit is the Swordfish getting a reduced time between its bursts, so it fires a lot faster now. But even now, you still don't see many people running it, which is quite shocking because before, a lot of people were running the gun, but now the only battle rifle you see people run is the AUG because it got buffed in not this update, but the big gun balancing update. It got buffed in, and it was a very big buff, and it just kind of results in myself and other people just getting pissed off over the gun because of just how overpowered it is and how people use it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing that came out of this update was actually kind of the nerf of Ajax in his 9-bang. Do you guys want to voice your opinions on that?
Thank you, God. That's it.
That was a big thing that a lot of people were really complaining about, even in the competitive community, because the effect of the 9-bang and how strong it was literally blinding. Like your whole screen was just white for like 5 to 7 seconds. Like it was
Yeah.
that bad.
It would take
And
forever
now,
to recover.
and now it's been tuned down, so it really doesn't last as long as it did, which is good, but it still has a use though, which is a
Right.
big thing. And the shield, it's still overpowered, but it's easier to kill it now. Whoever's using it, it's easier to kill the person if they have the shield. But I still kind of struggle with killing the Ajax
Yeah.
whenever they're
One
in their
thing I
shield
noticed when I was playing with you last night, John,
mode. Mhm.
I don't think it was since I was tired, but I was like aiming right on people's chests, and none of my bullets were connecting at all.
Mhm.
To me, like before this last recent update, the bullets would connect a lot more than what they do now.
Mhm. Yeah, there's still I've been seeing it myself. I still think there's some issues with like the bullet registration and aiming at other people because I still have some issues. I don't know if it's just me, but with like my aim assist and multiplayer, like sometimes I get it and sometimes I don't. Maybe it's just the way that I play because I play like so intense and like fast paced that I just don't notice it, or I think like I have it or I don't. But like the bullet registration, I can completely agree with because that happens to me so much where like I'm just firing at a dude for so long and only 3 bullets hit them and they're so weak and like I'm aiming right at them and none the rest of my bullets don't hit them to finish them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's stupid. I think it's getting to the point where I want to like punch something at
You heard
times.
me last night. I just got off the game. I was completely mad,
Yeah,
ready
you
to
were
delete it
very
too.
upset.
I was furious, yo.
Yeah, very very upset. Uh, Brandon, is there anything you want to add? Because we've been talking for a little while.
No, nothing about like the update or anything, but I will say this. Y'all thought that Vonderhaar saved this game with this recent update. That's all good if you think that. But just recently, there has been a ex-employee of Treyarch that has recently came out and kind of bashed and threw the complete company under the bus. If you saw the Reddit post, if you heard about this, people were trying to like make him prove that he was actually an ex-employee of the company. He did work in the zombies department of for Black Ops 4, so he basically went out and said everything about how to beat like the Viking ship on the game and stuff like that, like step by steps for the Easter eggs and stuff. Um, so this was kind of like a big hit at Vonderhaar and the company, basically saying why I think one of the biggest issues I had when I was reading it was about the reason he was fired was probably the dumbest reason I've ever seen in my life. Just from any work, if you were ever to get fired due to this reason, they usually had their lunch at 5:30. Then they were sending emails saying that lunch was pushed back until 6. So he ended up taking his lunch at 6. After he takes his lunch at 6 and he gets back to his desk to work, people come up and tell him that he needs to pack all of his things and leave. The only reason, and what they said to him is because he took his lunch when he was not supposed to, and that he was told to take it at 7. And he said that nobody sent out an email about 7 o'clock or anything like that. So that was like a really, really fucked up thing from them, just kind of like overworking their creators and stuff like that to finish this game, and to do that. And then he also said like when he was walking out the building, And this guy was like really good too. Like he was their lead bug like catcher. He caught almost like 21 bugs, like probably the most out of like anybody doing working on this game. So I mean, he was a really good like worker that worked for them, and definitely somebody that shouldn't have been let go, especially for such a dumb reason. But
Yeah, totally agree with that.
he basically just like bashed them, threw them under the bus. There was some other like there was some smaller other reasons too, but that was definitely probably one of the biggest
Yeah.
ones. I think it's just when you know, and this is what I talked about like in the first two podcasts. It was just like you just know that a company is going downhill when they just become so money hungry that they don't worry about one, their customers, and then two, also their employees. So it's
Mhm.
just like, why are you treating your employees like this? You're literally firing your main work, like you're probably your best worker in the department over fucking taking a lunch at an hour that he wasn't supposed to take his lunch.
Mhm.
Like, are you serious? It's not like he went in there and like, did some crazy shit to the game, was like, not coming to work, was, not finishing, projects on time. Like you literally fired him because he took his lunch at the hour that he said that at the hour that they said that he could take his lunch at.
I
Like
found that so
That's
retarded.
insane.
and so like when he walked out and had his personal belong, well, at first they would not let him take his personal belongings at all. So they realized that that was wrong, like that they shouldn't let him take they should let him take his personal belongings. So like when he's walking out the building and he was just like the people that walked him out of the building was just like, oh, no loss to us. I'm like, you're literally firing your main worker of the department. So it's just like you're firing somebody who worked so hard to work with a company that they love
Mhm.
as a kid and growing up, and you're just gonna treat them like that.
Yeah.
It's like he also said there's like he isn't the first person to deal with these issues, and like there's so much other shit. I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff behind the scenes other than just what happened with this guy, but it's just really crazy to see that that's how their workers are being treated and basically almost like slaved to work on this game.
That's
So
kind of how it is with a lot of big gaming companies to begin with. If I remember correctly, it was, I think about a year or two ago, like a bunch of actors that did voices for different characters in video games were like on strike because they weren't getting paid a fair amount for doing all this hard work on these different games. And I think one of them that was in that protest was Nolan North. And we all know Nolan North, he was in many critically acclaimed games.
yeah.
He was most famous for playing as Nathan Drake in the Uncharted series. He played as the Ghost in Destiny 1 whenever Dinklebot decided to go his way, and
Yeah,
Destiny 2.
he played like a Transformers character.
He played as Deadpool in the Deadpool
Yeah,
video game, and and that was like a really big thing. I don't know if that lawsuit is still going on because they sued a bunch of different game companies over not being like treated fair and not being paid fair. It was a lot. And
yeah,
I want to add on to what you said, about that Treyarch employee. Supposedly, one thing he talked about was that there was an abandoned co-op mode that was
yeah.
coming to Call of Duty, and something with the zombies mode that they were going to be adding in, or that was supposed to be in the game
Right.
at launch. Trying to look at this article from
And I
Screenrant.
think he also said something about Nuketown as well too.
Yeah,
Where they just dropped
Call of
Nuketown.
Nobody Cares. I guess that's what he went under. Revealed that Nuketown Zombies is definitely on its way, but there's no official date yet. The upcoming DLC will be a prequel to the Chaos storyline and include 4 brand new characters. And
Interesting.
he also said they have a plan that to eventually include a 4v4 style of gameplay for zombies. It's unclear whether this is still ongoing or has already been scrapped.
Huh. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So
It
for,
actually is very
so
interesting.
for the co-op mode, was it like? Was it going to be something with zombies, or was it going to be something?
Yes, a lot of the stuff he talked about is really just zombies related.
Right. I mean, his department they worked in, so he probably
Yeah.
know most about it.
Yeah. I'm not
So
really
then-
seeing a lot more.
John, about that strike thing we were just talking about with the voice actors. I just looked it up.
Mhm.
It ended. They finally reached an agreement on September 25th of 2017.
Oh, okay. So about a year ago, it was resolved. Okay, I couldn't remember whether or not if it was still ongoing or not. So I'm glad you looked that up for me, because I was looking up into that ex Treyarch employee. I was looking at that.
It's just, I think it just makes me mad about, and this is why I fucking hate Bondahar. That's why I hate most of the game companies that are out there. It's just like you're a $1 billion industry, and especially with like how it was going on with the strikes, and you're telling me you can't pay the people who are literally in your game a good amount of fucking money. Like you're telling me they can get paid for what they're working for. It's just like that's just how like petty they are. Like they want all the money to themselves and shit like that. Especially these
Mhm.
fucking like these top tier people. It's just like
That's kind of reminds me of how like EA is, because EA is pretty money hungry.
oh yeah,
whenever
for
it comes
sure.
to their titles, and it's gotten bad over the years. It didn't get bad until Star Wars Battlefront 2, and now that they're going into Battlefield 5 and these other, EA Sports games, it's just
Right.
loaded with microtransactions.
And so I want to jump in now, and so I think this might be a good point to tackle one of the questions that we had asked to us about whether if like the console gaming is like dying. I don't think, and this is my opinion, I don't think console gaming itself is dying. Like I don't think PlayStation and Xbox and I'll you know what I'll tell you that like maybe the Wii and Nintendo Switch is dying, but like
Mhm.
as the main ones for like PlayStation, Xbox, I don't think they're dying. I think they're perfectly fine. They're just going to do nothing but keep growing. I think it's the companies that own that are like partnered with these consoles. So like how we were talking about EA, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Naughty Dog. Like I mean, I'll say like Naughty Dog, like they put out great games every time they release one.
Oh yeah, big
But
time.
it's just like I think with the behind the scenes shit, it's just it's that stuff that's really gonna bring them down because they're not gonna have anybody to work on their games and do all this shit if they just keep treating them this way. So I don't think besides like I said, Nintendo and for like their Wii and their Switch and stuff like that, I don't think they're dying. I think they're dying because they don't know how to really
Keep up.
with some of the like how with Xbox and PlayStation. So I think they're going downhill. But I just think like with PlayStation, Xbox, I just think it's their companies that are dying that release their games. So I mean, yeah, that could take a big effect on the consoles themselves. But I don't think as just a console, like I don't think PlayStation is dying.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure like they could be dramatically affected, obviously, if the games that are released just don't do well and stuff like that. So I mean, it's kind of like a domino effect. Like if games don't do well, then neither are the consoles because people are just gonna be at a point where it's just like, fuck it, I'll just buy PlayStation just to fucking use it for like Netflix or some shit like that. But I mean, it's just they just have to get like these gaming companies have to just get their shit together. They need to quit just being so fucking greedy. It's ridiculous.
To add on to that, an article actually broke out today at 4:16 p.m. PlayStation is skipping out on E3 2019 for the first time ever. In the
Why?
24-year history of E3 being around, PlayStation is skipping out. So
Holy
Sony
fuck.
confirmed that it will be skipping the annual conference, commenting, as the industry evolves, Sony Interactive Entertainment continues to look for inventive opportunities to engage the community. PlayStation fans mean the world to us, and we always want to innovate, think differently, and experiment with new ways to delight gamers. As a result, we have decided not to participate in E3 in 2019. We are exploring new and familiar ways to engage our community in 2019 and can't wait to share our plans with you. This news, it marks a couple months ago whenever PlayStation canceled one of their events recently. I forget what it was that they canceled. It was the PlayStation Experience event. That's what it was. They recently canceled it like a couple months ago. And I guess this is following up with that because supposedly there is rumors of a PlayStation 5 coming out in 2019 or 2020. But I'm thinking it's going to be probably later because if you think about it, they would have revealed the console in 2019 and then dropped it later. But I'm thinking they'll probably reveal it in the summer of 2020 and then release it later in the fall.
Can I say one thing?
Sure.
Quickly?
Sure.
Not many people really know about it, but people are building like a super system, they call it.
Wow.
And that Sony is?
It's a super system. Like people are randomly building them themselves. It's an Xbox and a PlayStation combined into one system. And people are actually going to be trying to sell that for money and everything like that.
But I want to express my opinion on whether or not like consoles are dying out. In my opinion, I believe consoles aren't dying out. If you watch a lot of, esports, a lot of it is console driven, and then it's like half and half. It's console driven on one half, and the other half is PC. And if you think about it, consoles aren't going anywhere. They are, the price, like if you're like on a crunch budget, like you can't afford a big time PC, a lot of people just buy a console. You can do like the same exact things that you can with a console as you can with a PC, just for a lot cheaper, in my opinion. I've been a console gamer since I was like 6 years old. I started off on the GameCube, and I just always stayed on console. I've always loved consoles. But I didn't, like fully side with, a specific console until I was about 13. That's when I was like, okay, I'm only PlayStation. I could not stand Microsoft. I didn't like the Xbox at all. I actually, in my opinion, I liked the original Xbox. I hated the 360, and I liked the One. I'm weird. I think it's like really weird because a lot of people are like, Xbox 360 is the best console. To be honest, I thought it was the PS3.
You like the first Xbox?
I actually liked the first Xbox. I actually did.
It handled really well for a first-gen console like that. It was better than the PlayStation 1 handling-wise, and even better than the PlayStation 2 handling-wise.
I just think it had a lot of better titles than like PlayStation did at the time. Whenever that console was released, you had Halo, you had... Okay, that's the only one I can name off the top of my head. But there was a lot of them at the time. Yeah. There was a lot. And Halo really took the world by storm, and Halo is still around to this day. Halo, I think it's called Halo Infinity or Infinite, is coming out, I think, next year. Don't know how it's going to be. I probably won't buy it, to be completely honest. I wasn't very impressed with Halo 5, and I'm not a big fan of 343 Industries. Not the biggest fan. Because ever since they took over Halo, I just feel like they just kind of destroyed it. But consoles aren't going anywhere. Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, and all these other companies that make consoles, they're still going to make consoles. Whether or not the industry is dying or not, they're still going to make them. You know how much money the PlayStation 4 has made in its 3 to 4 years of it being out? Too fucking much.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of fucking money compared to the Xbox.
Yeah.
Quick question for you guys. What do you guys think of the when the PlayStation 4 came out, how it was first free for like a couple months of internet, like to play with your friends, but then they did a thing where you had to buy them.
PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, like you had to buy PlayStation Plus. It's cheaper than Xbox's Xbox's Live, since Xbox is running around right now $70 for a year. PlayStation's is $60 for a year. What are your thoughts on that?
I never found an issue with that because, like, I played PlayStation 3, like, so I didn't have to pay for internet. But I mean, that wasn't like a huge issue for me just like to go over to PlayStation 4 and have to pay for the internet. So that never like really bothered me. I think the only thing that bothered me when PS4 was released was just the amount of titles that they had, and just like they didn't have any good games when the console released. Like you had like
No, they didn't.
you had Killzone, Call of Duty
You had
Ghost was out at the time.
Battlefield 4 on there.
Yeah, so it was just
Assassin's
like
Creed.
it was just like there were decent games. I just ended up going to Xbox because that's where a lot of my friends were. It's just like it's not like I didn't like PS4 because like I had to pay for online. I just didn't because they didn't have good titles at the time. But I ended up selling my Xbox after they came out with some more games, and then also because I was also competing at the time too. So for Call of Duty, so I ended up going just over there to to compete. So I just stuck over there with that. But yeah, I mean, no, that never like bothered me. I never really saw an issue with it. I kind of figured like there will come a time where PlayStation players will end up having to pay for internet, like the PlayStation Plus, to be able to play online. So I mean, that never like really bothered me or anything like that.
Yeah, because PlayStation Plus was on the PS3 as an optional like online subscription, and they gave you your 2 free games a month and this and that and other free goodies. And it didn't really bother me that much because I didn't really have it. It didn't really appeal to me at all. And then whenever coming over to the PS4 and I had to pay for it, I was like, okay, it makes sense. They're because they were like trying to promote it a lot back on the PS3, and they're trying to throw it more in your face by making you actually pay for it now in order to play online. At first, whenever the service was out on the PS4, fucking hated it because the games that they gave you for free every month were not worth however much you were paying for online. It was
Right.
not worth it at all because they were just shitty indie titles. They were boring as fuck. They just weren't appealing to anybody. So they weren't making money until finally Sony listens to the community saying, hey, can we get some fucking AAA titles in this bitch? Like, seriously, we need AAA titles if you want to make your PlayStation Plus better than the games for gold.
Yeah.
Because games with gold, dude, they give out 2 AAA games a month and 2 backwards compatible games that are also AAA titles.
Yeah.
4 games a month, and only PlayStation gets 2. 2.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's kind of ridiculous because I pay the same amount. I pay $10 a month because at times I don't feel like, paying $25 for 3 months or $60 for a year. I just get kind of lazy. So I just have it, $10 a month. And I do that for both my PlayStation and my Xbox account.
Yeah.
My Xbox account, I have probably had so many AAA titles from Games with Gold that are worth more than how much money I've spent on online for the fucking PlayStation.
Yeah.
And I've had my PS3 for about 3 to 4 years. I've had it I got it a year after it launched. So I've had it for 3 years. I think 3 or 4 years. I can't remember exactly. But I got it for Christmas, and I played it a shit ton. I had 3 games at the time. I had Assassin's Creed Unity, NHL 15, FIFA 15. That's all I played.
Right.
And I loved it. And then, I started getting more games. I got Grand Theft Auto. I had Battlefield. I had all these other titles that I very much enjoyed. And then I got my Xbox, started playing on there, playing Gears of War, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Halo, just all the titles on there.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, continue.
If we're looking at the consoles, based off of exclusive games, PlayStation takes every award.
Yeah.
The Xbox, since it launched, has had no good console exclusive titles, in my opinion. They announced how many whenever the console was revealed, and I'm pretty sure only 2 or 3 have launched.
Yeah, I mean, because
was revealed 3 years ago. It's finally coming out next year. 3 years. It took you guys 3 years to release that game. And the second one wasn't even that good, in my opinion.
And I mean, what are you guys gonna rely on too? It's like your big title game. You dropped Halo. Congratulations. Okay, great. You dropped a racing game that you've made since fucking Xbox came out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just I mean, I will say this though. This is what I wanted to say. I think what saved PS4 since launch was literally the fact that one was competitive for Call of Duty esports. This is my opinion. I think that's what benefited in saving PlayStation because when they had to switch over, I think also, I mean, you had the Uncharted 4 as well too, dropping on PlayStation 4, and then they also had that remastered for The Last of Us. And then I also think too is like what kind of saved, because the first Tomb Raider game that didn't come out like the newer Tomb Raider games, that didn't come out on PS3, did it?
The first one, just the reboot Tomb Raider, was available on both the PS3 and Xbox 360. Then Microsoft landed a contract with Eidos Entertainment and Square Enix to release the second game exclusively on the Xbox for a certain amount of time. I think it was about a year. And then Rise of the Tomb Raider was then released as the anniversary edition on the PS3 with all of its DLCs for $60. And then Shadow of the Tomb Raider released on both Xbox and PlayStation.
Oh, okay. So then I'll just keep it to, competitive esports, and then also for the Uncharted series.
I would like to say one thing, Brandon, that I sort of like. I know you were talking about Forza with the racing game, how like Forza Horizon 4 came out. I want to say I'm like how you just like said, oh, a racing game. If you haven't played that game, dude, you need to. It's one of the best racing games in the world.
I played it, and this is just my opinion. I don't like. I'm not.
I know. I'm just saying. But for a game to have changing weather, a racing game, and the graphics to look so real, and there's over, like right now in my game, I have 288 cars, and I don't even have them all.
Right.
And you can free drive.
I'm not like bashing it or anything like that.
I know. I'm
just saying it's just like for as a console company to for you to rely on a racing game to maybe promote sales for you, it's just that's pretty you're not gonna do well. I mean, I'm sure there's a pretty decent fan base for was it Forza? Is that right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure there's a decent fan base for the game, but I'm just saying it's for you to rely on just a racing game and also Halo for when you drop your console. I mean, honestly, you're not gonna do good. I'm sure they did better because that's what a lot of people were already on. And they were on there because I mean that was just I'm sure Xbox One Xbox 360 did a lot better than PS fucking 3. I mean, would you agree with that? Because
I will agree with that.
So it's just so there's a lot of people who there was a huge fan base on Xbox 360 compared to fucking PS3. So it's just of course people are gonna still buy Xbox One, but it's just they're getting pissed that okay, that's what I'm saying is you had Halo and Forza as your launch games. You're supposed to have and Gears too. You were supposed to have Dead Rising for both of these fucking consoles.
And then it went exclusively to the Xbox.
Yeah, so it's just you need to make better fucking games for these consoles when you're dropping it, or just don't fucking drop it yet at all until you have companies who are making games that will actually be successful on your fucking console. So it's that's why I was pissed off at fucking PlayStation 4 because they didn't have any good fucking games when they dropped too. You're not gonna have me pay fucking all this money for fucking Killzone 2. I'm not buying a fucking dying fucking game that just is so ass. Can't even tell you what other fucking games. I don't want to use my fucking touchpad on my controller to swipe and play with fucking robots on here now. I don't want to do that. I just want a fucking game to play that I actually like. So it's when Uncharted 4 dropped, thank the fucking Lord. And when Call of Duty for competitive switched over, that's what I'm saying. I think they switch. I think that saved them. I think that's why they're doing better than Xbox One now. It's just because they're building and they're dropping all these great titles onto this console, where Xbox, I mean, they're still just trying to hang on to the same old games. It's Halo's not doing well. Gears of War, I mean, their last game they just dropped, I mean, okay, great. I mean, that's doing well. I mean, it took you fucking long enough for Gears to actually get back into the groove of being a good game. But it's just that. I said, I don't want to bash Forza, but it's just you can't not drop a fucking good shooting game or a good story game and just have Gears of War, Halo, and fucking Forza. Those, no, you can't.
aspect there, but when like I'm not trying to argue with anything. I see your like I understand you and everything like that. But
Yeah.
for like the two games that they do have like right now that are out, that are the primary games they focus around, both look amazing, which is why I think the Xbox is still getting like equally with PlayStation 4. Like with the console wore out with the graphics wise, I have a PlayStation 4 Pro, the first gen, and I have a first gen Xbox One S. They look the exact same. They both run in 4K. And like that's another thing I'd like to point out there. Like both systems, they're the same hardware in the system. So how can one system look better than the other?
Yeah, no, that's like I don't even put that on the companies because that's not like the war that they started. That's just fucking fans. So it's like that whole PlayStation is better than Xbox. Like no, like they literally are the same fucking companies. Like look at the fucking stats. Like
Yeah, I know. I'm
PlayStation
not
might be
putting it
a
on the
little bit
companies. I'm just
higher.
putting it out to the fans of the system.
Yeah,
They're the
no,
same
I'm agreeing with
freaking
you.
thing underneath it. Like,
Yeah, I'm
take
agreeing
your
with you.
Xbox apart
It's
and
the
you have your
fucking
buddy who has a PlayStation. Take that
it's
apart
the
too. Same
it's the
exact fucking thing, yo.
It's the dumbest argument I've ever like seen for so long since fucking Xbox 360 and PS3 came out. Like it's the dumbest shit. Like they're the exact same fucking consoles. Like Xbox might have a little bit of higher statistics than like what they have in their console than PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 4 might have
Like,
a little bit of better
okay,
statistics than what they have in Xbox One.
my
But it's the same console.
yeah, like my two systems, they both are running. I already know this since I looked up the stats for it and stuff like that. The PlayStation 4 Pro runs a 1080 Ti graphics card, which is $900 graphics card. Same with the Xbox One S.
Yeah,
So like, how is it one better than the other?
yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's a fucking argument, and it's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have these PC motherfuckers coming in. Saying like, "Oh, PC master race, bro. PC's better than fucking consoles, bro." No, get your fucking ass out of here. Just because you don't know how to use a fucking controller and you just like to be on your keyboard and fucking mouse and shit, congrats. You can do two things at fucking once. Like, good job, buddy. Like, just shut your fucking mouth, stay on your fucking computer, and just go fuck yourself. Like, I hope you step on a Lego. Like, I don't care about you. Like, I'm here for console play. I'm not here for PC play. Like, congrats. Like, you can I'll build my own PC. It's better than your fucking PlayStation. I don't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah.
congrats. I don't care. Like,
Another thing I'd like to point here: an average PC, which is around $2,500, runs the same frames per second as a PlayStation 4 Pro in boost mode, which is around 120 to 160 frames per second. Just saying.
yeah, I have no comment for that because that's just thrown in their fucking PC faces. Like, go
Exactly.
Like, I hope your PC master race fucking collapses because I mean, like the new PlayStation is basically a fucking built-in like a built PC. Like,
Exactly. If I take out all the components of my PlayStation, the only thing I would need to buy is a better motherboard, and then I have a PC.
Exactly. It's just like, just go fuck yourself, bro. Like, like honestly, like take your fucking your personal PC that you fucking built using your fucking dad's credit card and shove it up your fucking ass, bro. I don't care. Like, go play your CS:GO and shit. I don't fucking want that game on here. Like, congrats. Like it's so annoying hearing those arguments and shit like that. Like, it's pointless. Like,
It is.
Totally agree.
All right. So that got very heated very quick. And now I want to transition back into video game talk. So let's talk about Fortnite.
PS4 is better than Xbox.
Thanks for cutting me off. Fortnite, we have a mounted turret. Why
Fuck
was
that.
it necessary?
Oh, fuck yeah, bro.
Fuck that shit, yo. Fuck the mounted turret. It's so bullshit.
Why is it necessary?
Bro,
Really?
listen, man. When you just want to chill, right? Got a titty in your mouth and shit, not really focused on the game. You just want to mount on the fucking turret, bro, and just start raining on people like it's fucking D-Day, bro. More power to you, my guy. Like, just go at it, man. I mean, I feel like Fortnite, I mean, they're just trying to add in new things. I'm not really going to blame them for it. I mean, it's just, and it's not like something that cannot be destroyed or anything like that. I mean, if if they had them set up already on like these big fucking bases that people can get into, like overlooking big points of like on the map, then maybe that'd be a different story.
Yeah, but
Whereas,
not
the
like
fact that it can
where
be
you can place
destroyed-
it down anywhere you want.
Yeah, like
That's ridiculous.
So I mean, it's just like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the fact that, I mean, it can still be destroyed if it's built up on a base that somebody's built. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really like affect me. I mean, to me, it's just like
saying,
the same shit as a minigun.
The actual health of the thing when you place it, it's 3,000.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
But here's the thing: me and my buddy earlier today were on a playground and messing around. He got one, I got one, and he jumped up in the basically like he respawned, and he was like darting around. I wasn't even aiming down the sight. I was just no scoping. I was hitting every shot with it. It's basically like aimbot with that thing.
Oh God!
I think like I will say this though. I'm always gonna feel like Fortnite is trying to dumb down the fundamentals of the game for players who aren't as good as other players.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I agree.
So it's just like, okay, maybe adding this in, maybe kind of just like it dumbs it down a little bit for players who don't know how to destroy a fucking base or some shit, or can't fucking like, or just getting outbuilt or something like that, so they can just put a platform down and just like rain all hell on fucking people. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. We can do about it, but I mean, it's just like, I mean,
here's one thing I think
like
Fortnite
it's a cool addition, but I have a feeling it's getting abused very much, and it needs to be balanced. I have a feeling soon enough it's going to get vaulted.
I'm sure it will. I don't think though that there should be as many as there are that for players to get.
Oh yeah,
like
it should be limited.
there was the one game we were playing together. I got like fucking 3 of them, and you got like 1 of them. Like it's just like,
and then I picked up yours. Yeah,
I mean, I should be like here.
One thing I think Epic should do is like look at the stats. Like look at the kill death ratios of some people. Look at like the win losses and shit, and then make separate lobbies.
They say that
they tried doing that.
Possible.
Yeah,
they tried doing that, and the community got very upset.
How? I don't want to verse tryhards all the time.
Skill-based matchmaking it's always been in talks with every single game.
I think
not just Fortnite.
It's just the dumbest thing. Like they say it all.
It's dumb to a point, and it really doesn't help anybody. It really doesn't. Like, I understand where you're coming from. Like, you don't want to be thrown in the lobbies where you're just getting pounded by people that are better than you. I understand. But it's just because good players don't want to go up against other good players. They want to go up against people that are shittier than them. That way they can do good.
That's what I think is bullshit. Like how, for example, PUBG, once you hit plat tier in the ranking system, you only play with people above plat. Like you don't play with anyone else, which is what they should do. They should put a ranking system in the game, I think. And like, for example, if you have above a 3 KD, you play with people with a 3 KD and up. Like something like that. Like big range, like lobby types. For example, like 0 to like 2.5, then 2.5 to like 5 KD, like stuff like that, which I think would work in that aspect.
Yeah,
that's what basically PUB does.
Right.
And look at PUB's fan base; it's bigger than Fortnite almost.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Died off a lot whenever Fortnite came out. It was one of the highest playing games on Steam whenever it launched before Fortnite. But whenever Fortnite started to blow up, PUBG slowly went down.
Yeah,
everyone's going back. Everyone's going back to PUB.
Why?
Everyone is. All the people on my friends list on Xbox say they hate Fortnite and they're going back to PUB now.
I mean, friends list doesn't base off the full.
Even on their friends list.
That's not the whole community, though, Alex. I mean, it's just like.
No, like I keep going and going and going.
I don't know. I think
I've talked to multiple people. I've even talked to communities on Xbox of Fortnite and about PUB and everything like that. And they're saying they're soon like stopping Fortnite and just going back to PUB since all the bullshit that's happening with Fortnite, with them adding stupid shit, and
because Fortnite
isn't and everything.
Fortnite isn't a company that take themselves too seriously. I mean, look how the game was fucking made. Like, look how the graphics are. Like, it's not the same. It's not realistic, obviously. So it's just like, if people want a more realistic battle royale, more power fucking to them. But if it's just like, if people just want to play a game where they can, fucking, I don't know, fucking, I don't even know what the fuck. Like, it's just like, it's just so much. It's a totally different fucking game. Like, there's a totally different balance of between those like two games. So it's just like, I mean, if PUBG's doing something to kind of try to compete with Fortnite, I mean, I'm glad they're doing that than fucking trying to sue them, because I mean, they lost that battle. So, I mean, who knows? So, I mean, but yeah, Fortnite doesn't take them seriously. I mean, look at their outfits. I got a dude riding a fucking donkey. So it's just like, come on, man. I got a fucking dog on my backpack. Like, now I got like I got fucking, a Viking and shit like that. Like, it just doesn't, they don't take themselves too seriously. I think that could even be explained with the whole building aspect of it. Like, it's not realistic. Like, so, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if there's a big group of people that are going back to PUBG, I don't think that's going to affect Fortnite.
Yeah. I don't think it will either, because both games, they have their own player bases, and it's not like, where do I want to go with this? PUBG, has always had its own thing going with it, because PlayerUnknown has been around since early Arma days and made many different battle royales. On Arma, I think he also did one for DayZ. He helped out with H1Z1, and now he has his own game with PlayerUnknown's Battle Royale.
Right.
Well, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, not because PUBG, not my bad. Because his old one used to be PlayerUnknown's Battle Royale, I'm pretty sure, back on the Arma days. But the competition that we're seeing now, with all these new Battle Royale titles, Blackout coming into the mix, it's, every community is different on each game, and they each have their own different opinions. So it's not like everyone's is the same. And each battle royale is completely different. Blackout is different compared to PUBG and Fortnite. PUBG is different compared to Fortnite and Blackout. And Fortnite is completely different compared to PUBG and Blackout. Like, they all have something that makes them stand out from one another and have their own communities. But if it's true, that players that play Fortnite are going back to PUBG, then okay, that's fine. Cool. It's nothing stopping you from, leaving the game.
And I just think there's still going to be a way bigger fan base on Fortnite than I think there is on PUBG.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not trying to advise anything, because I mean, I played both games.
And the PUBG fan base is going to continue to grow, because the game is actually now releasing on the PS4 in early December. So it's branching itself out on every console. It's working.
But I mean, will they? Okay, I'll say this then, because I remember when H1Z1 tried, coming on the PS4, and I think that died pretty fast.
Yeah.
I mean, could we see? I just don't think any other battle royale game is on the same level as Fortnite is right now. I just don't think I just don't think so. So it's just like, you're trying to keep up with Fortnite, and you're just not going to do it, because H1Z1 did it. Blackout ended up doing it. I don't think Blackout is anywhere near. I think Blackout is like, this is how I see it. There's Fortnite, there's H1Z1, then there's PUBG, and then there's 50 piles of crap, and under that is fucking Blackout. So it's just like, Blackout is nowhere fucking ever going to come near to that. Like, I think it's just a failed shit. You should have just came out with the fucking campaign, Vondahar, you fucking white chocolate covered milk dud head ass motherfucker. So it's just like, well, can we see PUBG? I mean, just hypothetically, could we be seeing PUBG dying on PS4 if they were to come here?
I wouldn't doubt it, because it did die out for a little bit on the Xbox due to like system issues with it and just the game looking like utter garbage.
Yeah,
I wouldn't doubt it, but it could be good. We really just have to see whenever it comes out.
I think are they
really
coming
how
out
it is.
with a map or something for PUBG? Or is it going to be the same map that they've always
PUBG
had
has, I think, 2 or 3 maps already.
5 maps. They have 4
Oh,
or
it has
5 now.
5?
They have
Oh,
4 or
okay.
5. They just did a big
Yeah.
update on it a couple days ago.
Yeah, they have a couple maps compared to Fortnite. Maybe that's
Oh,
why
okay.
everybody's going back to it.
Well, I mean, maybe that's what can get PUBG a little bit higher than Fortnite, only because they have a variety of maps. And
Yeah.
Fortnite only just has the one that we've had since the day it came out. But
Can I
it's
add
just
one thing quickly?
yeah,
Sure.
go ahead.
So my buddy, who's in my room, he's not talking. He just looked up the statistics of just. I know you're gonna laugh at me, but mobile, okay, of Fortnite and PUBG. Fortnite was around 2.9, correct? And then PUBG was 6.8.
Million?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of players, but
On mobile.
yeah, that is on mobile. But
Tell me, look at the statistics between on console between Fortnite and PUBG. 'Cause I definitely can tell you right now, Fortnite's going to be 10 times bigger than PUBG.
but do it based only on the Xbox, since PUBG is only on the Xbox.
Just do it on
right now.
Xbox. Because I mean,
Yeah.
that's mobile. Like, I played PUBG on fucking mobile, but that's because I didn't have the new iPhone when Fortnite dropped. I mean, that's probably
He's
the reason
gonna look it
why.
up right now for the
I mean,
how
because
it is on Xbox Verity.
because I mean, Fortnite only dropped on phones on some of the newer iPhones and some of the newer Samsungs. I mean, PUBG was available for pretty sure all the phones, like iPhones and Samsungs. So, I mean, that's probably why. So I mean, when people wanted to jump on this craze, that if they couldn't fucking get Fortnite on their phone when that dropped, I mean, they were like, "Fuck, well, I want to play Battle Royale if I'm at work or some shit if I'm on a break." So they just went over to PUBG because that's all there was. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, good for that. If that's how big they were compared to Fortnite on mobile. But I mean, console wise and I mean PC wise, I'm pretty sure Fortnite probably takes the cake.
Mm-hmm. Anything else we want to add on the whole Fortnite debate with PUBG and
We're
Battle
trying
Royales?
to find the numbers for the players against.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we'll go back to that.
Just throw that in whenever you guys find it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
So
we will.
the next thing I want to discuss is the upcoming Rainbow Six Siege update actually being leaked before its reveal. Operation Wind Bastion will be releasing in, I think, the next week or two. I don't really play
It's gonna
Siege
be
that much anymore.
It's gonna be shown in the finals for Pro League,
Oh,
which
yeah, for
is
Pro
the
League.
17th and 18th
Okay.
that weekend. And
So
I'm
then
just gonna
that's
say
this
all right
weekend.
now, people who do watch this weekend for Siege is a free to play. I'm pretty sure, and it's gonna be 25 to 30% off in the stores. But yeah, the operators that are gonna be coming out for Siege are just gonna be insane. Really, it's like Ash 2.0 and Bandit 2.0 basically.
Yeah. So the two operators that are coming out, we have Cade, who is going to be a defender. He has throwable electrified gadgets.
Yeah.
While the same high voltage effect of Bandit's shock wire, it's delivered in a similar form factor to Ella's mine. I don't know how to pronounce.
Ella's goo mine.
Yeah,
Just the
goo
goo
mine. This should be an interesting new way to lock down walls and hatches, especially for those overhead. And then we have Nomad, whose description on here, it says seemingly leveraging a shockwave round which punches foes once activated. Mounted to the underside of her rifle, this appears to be an alternate attachment like Buck's skeleton key
Okay,
shot.
I will say something right there. That article you're reading is actually incorrect. It is a trap gadget. She can shoot it at a wall. It stays trapped and is goes off by proximity.
Okay. Well, this article is from the day it was leaked, and I didn't expect it to be that truthful because, a lot of the leaks, they're true, but, they get some information mixed up. One thing that's really been big, especially with Ubisoft titles and Siege being one of them, is the big amount of leaks that have happened with Siege, because almost every operation every season gets leaked way before it's even revealed.
I understand with what you're saying.
Like a lot. Same with titles too. You know, how many years has it been that an Assassin's Creed game hasn't been leaked?
been
Like
a lot.
none. It's every year Assassin's Creed gets leaked.
Like I'm pretty sure with what was that the Assassin's Creed game where it was just like in Egypt or something?
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
Origins.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure that got leaked like
That
like a
got
year
leaked.
before.
Odyssey got leaked way
Yeah.
before it was even revealed.
Yeah.
Almost every Assassin's Creed game that is on this current generation has basically been leaked.
Yeah.
So we got the numbers for the PUBG and Fortnite thing.
Okay.
So for Fortnite on all like systems, like mobile through PC, PlayStation, and Xbox, is 40 million.
Okay.
For PUBG, Xbox to PC is 35, but then if you take in the 2.9 mil for the phones, so it's like 42.9 mil for Fortnite. So then if you put in the PUBG with the mobile, it's around about the same. So they're basically the same. PUBG might have just a little bit more than Fortnite.
So how I just want to ask, how long has PUBG been around?
PUBG's been around for
PUBG
about
has been around
3-4 years.
No. PUBG's
3.
been around for about a year and a half.
No, it's been longer than that.
No.
I swear
No.
it's been longer than that.
No. Came out last March.
Really?
Yes.
Feels like it's been longer than that.
PlayerUnknown has been around since Arma 1. He's been making battle royales for years. But this is his first standalone title, and it came out March 23rd, 2017.
Do they have the stats of each individual for each console and stuff?
Wouldn't doubt it. I'm
asking because like
I'm not sure. My friend was looking it up.
It's kind of hard to find it because
I'm sure it is.
It's a lot of mixed opinions.
I'm sure it is, but it's just like because if PUBG's been around a lot longer than Fortnite, but yet Fortnite's only been here for like a year and a half, and they have almost like 40 million more. Like just what he just said, like it kind of got put stuff in perspective for you. Which one's probably doing a lot better than the other? So.
Okay, well, we just got off topic from the Siege, so let's go back to the Siege.
Yeah, let's go back to talking to Siege. We're done with the Battle Royale. We're done with that. We talked long enough about it and got very heated. This podcast episode going very off track. It's very heated.
Fortnite's better than PUBG.
This is like this is a traditional pissed off gamers podcast. Okay.
That's what it's all about, baby.
Back to the discussion. Rainbow Six. Alex, you have played the game.
Yeah, I know
way more than I have. So you know more about it than I normally would. I do a little bit of research. I play the game a little bit. I am not the greatest. I will admit it now. I have had one good game. I went 11-1, and that was about 2 years ago. Since then, I do not get a single kill. I am that bad.
Well, basically, Siege in a nutshell is first-person critical thinking. So, basically, with this game, there's a lot of shit that gets me triggered with it still. Like, there's glitches still happening. Like, for example, with the operator Sledge, he has a sledgehammer, and you can break through breakable wooden walls and stuff like that. A couple days ago, I was playing with him. I broke a wall. It broke the enemy's side, so they could see through, but my side was still there, and it wouldn't break, and they shot me. And other stuff. We'll be aiming right at someone's head still, and they said they fixed the bullet trail and the alignment with the update when the last operators came out, and I'll be aiming directly in the middle of someone's skull, and they won't die. But then I'll aim like mid chest, and they'll die single shot to the head somehow. That's still problems with it. But with these operators coming into the mix now, it's definitely going to be harder for roamers in the game, like a Caveira or Jaeger, like to roam with the traps from Nomad. And they're going to be, those traps can fling you into a wall and cause more damage too. And then there's definitely going to be more play of Thatcher, who can basically counter the electricity charge from Cade, bandits, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a really interesting update for Siege, since this update will make or break Siege's lifespan of the next couple years, people are saying. And I'm hoping this update is great and Siege continues, since Siege has a big impact on me. I've been playing since beta of Siege. I've deleted the game. I've broken the game so many times from me getting mad at it. And I just keep getting it since I'm addicted to the game. It's such a good game for, like, if you want to learn quick reaction times, awareness, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of critical thinking in the game, especially, like, for example, you're by yourself and you're against 5 other people, like on a huge, like, a map that where you can break through almost any wall.
Right.
With all the different abilities of Pulse, who could see you through a wall, with his heart scanning thing from up to I think 8-10 meters away, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Lion for the roamer counter. He's an attacker. He has a drone basically that's indestructible, and when he does his ability in 3 seconds, if all the defenders are moving, you'll get highlighted your whole body for about 4 to 5 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy as well. It's just crazy, that game, with how all the gameplay is, like with Pro League and everything like that. In that game, Pro League took off in the game about a year and a half ago. People weren't thinking it was actually going to be in Pro League.
Mm-hmm.
But then some of the pros were like, hey, I like this game a lot. Let's talk to some of the Pro League people. And then they made it into Pro League. And now that game has, I'm going to say off the top of my head, at least over 25 million players. At least. And if I'm wrong, I'll take that statement back. But that game's grown so much, especially during those free weekends. When I was playing for the first free weekend, I've probably met over 150 people in that weekend who just got the game to try it out, and they actually bought it.
So, an article back in October 30th of 2018, Rainbow Six Siege player count topped over 40 million.
Yeah.
But 10 hours ago, an article from Forbes came out.
Mhm.
It is currently at its lowest Steam player count.
But that's Steam, though.
Yeah, that's just Steam. But, it's dropped a lot. According to the Steam charts, the average for Monday, November 12th is 68,634 players, down from a high of 176,208 in February.
I can tell you exactly why it's like that. Since Siege is not listening to the stuff that's happening in the game with all the glitches, like under the map glitches, for example, on the map, what map? The boat map in the snow. I forget the name of it. And there's another glitch on Border in one of the bomb sites where you can get into the tables and like you're basically invisible in that spot. There's so many glitches still in that game which they haven't fixed, and there's other hiding spots on, for example, Border, which are overpowered if you and your friend knows how to do it. Like, trying to think of the map layout. Armory on the second floor, the stairs on the north side, you can get on top of the scaffolding, which there's no other way to get on top of it unless you have a like a shield, and your friend places it or you place it, and that spot's overpowered, so you can lay down to a box and no one will expect you there, and you can get kills easily. And people are getting tired of that with all the bullshit happening. Like, you'll quick peep someone, they're not even like looking at you, you shoot, your shot's not registering at all, and then they turn around and one tap you instantly. And people are getting tired of that, so they're not playing it until they actually fix it, which are saying they're going to fix that this update. Hopefully. I'm hoping they do, since this game is a really good game if you get into it and you sit down and actually try to learn all the stuff in the game and everything.
Yeah.
Whenever I played Siege, I enjoyed my time with it. but it just wasn't a game I could just stick around with,
Yeah,
to be completely honest.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I definitely the reason why I played that game so much was because I played with friends. I honestly think if I didn't have friends to play that game with, I would not play that game at all. That's just how I am.
I won't disagree with you. If you have friends, it's a lot better experience. But if you want a challenge, go into ranked and go solo by yourself.
Yeah.
It's a hard. If you want a hard, like challenging game, this would be the game for you.
I mean, I'm not bashing the game at all. It's a really good game. I think it kind of delivers on kind of what CS:GO kind of is for console players a little bit, but I mean, in certain aspects of it, certainly like the kind of like search and destroy kind of aspect.
Yeah.
But so I mean, I think it's a great game. I was always a really big fan of like Rainbow Six Vegas when that dropped.
That was a good game.
Like I love that game. But I mean, hopefully they can fix their issues. I mean, if they don't, then they need to. I'm just gonna add them to the some of the industries that really need just could being fucking petty. But I mean, hopefully they will, because I mean that's a game they're keeping around for a long time before dropping like another one. I mean,
they're working to keep it around for as long as they can.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just I think that's important for them to do. Is if you want to keep this game around long, if you want to keep improving on the game itself, then you need to really take care of the players who are making sure you keep your game around.
They finally are realizing that they're going to be listening to the players finally. Like they started with the last update when they said they fixed the aim thing, but it's not totally fixed. It's still bugging out big time. But another thing I would like to point out with Siege, it came out December, I think around December 20th.
Came out around the same time of Battlefront.
I'm pretty sure it was like December 15th, 2015. This is the first Ubisoft game to ever go into 3 years of DLCs.
Yeah, so I mean,
which is a big boost for the company right there.
Yeah, so I mean, just as long as they can keep treating the players and giving them what they need and what they want, then I mean that game's going to be around for a long time. I just think like I don't want them to join in on the conversation of companies being petty, not listening to companies, not listening to the players. But I mean, it's just I think it's so important from a player's aspect that you need to listen to them, because if you don't, you won't. And don't just listen to like some of the more popular players who live stream and like do YouTube, because that's what Treyarch does. Like they only fix their fucking issues, and if they're like big time like YouTubers and live streamers express those issues, and I think that's absolute bullshit. So
yeah, that's what Siege used to do, but then they stopped. It was Operation Shamira, or I can't pronounce it right. It's something like that. When Jokopi and Echo came in, that's when they started listening to all players, no matter what. Right. Like I've talked to some of the Siege representatives on their Twitter page, and they respond back within usually 5 minutes. If not, they email you the next day.
Right.
And like Treyarch will never do that.
I'll never listen to
Treyarch will be
players like us.
Fuck off! You can go die in a hole.
Yeah, they'll never listen to players like us, and I think that's absolutely sad. I think that's why. I mean, I just think he's dying. Period. Like from a competitive aspect, okay, maybe it's like it's getting better since the last 3 games that dropped, but it's just like I think since this game, I think not adding a campaign literally was like a shot in the fucking foot for you.
Oh yeah,
like you literally missed the fucking like the train to get into battle royale, like and just the fact that you still tried going for it and it's not doing good. Like you literally probably only have like maybe 2 or 3 big live streamers doing like playing Blackout. One of them is Dr. Disrespect. It's just just come on, like you just have to make sure that you're doing that, and I'm glad they're listening. I mean, I've always heard good things about Ubisoft when in regards to Rainbow Six. Listening to the players about the issues with the game, but it's just I mean, continue to do that. Like try to come out with like response to those questions as fast as you can in regards to updates and how to update that shit. So I mean, I would definitely like to see Rainbow Six Siege around for a long time.
So will I. Like it's The
I mean,
game.
shit, y'all motherfuckers
just-
got a movie deal, bro. So I mean, like,
Yeah,
do your thing,
exactly. They got
bro.
a freaking movie like about the game. So, but one thing I want to say, last thing I'll say about Siege, and then we can continue on. Operation Health is like Pulso's hairline. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So now we are finally going to transition into the Q&A portion of the podcast. After 2 episodes, we finally have questions, and I
about
thank you
time.
all for some questions. So today's episode, the questions from today's episode are going to be coming from Captain Viper. The first one he asks is, "How did you guys meet to start the Pissed Off Gamers podcast?"
Who wants to go first? Should I say it? Start first. I mean,
Yeah,
it kind of was just me
you
and
can go first, Brandon. You can go first.
So like all kind of just started off as like a joke, to be honest. I mean, I've always wanted to start a podcast for a long time with like a couple of my other friends. But between me and John and starting this, I honestly kind of came up with the name too, because we were just fucking around. Like we were just playing. Was it Call of Duty? We were playing
It
Call
was.
of Duty, right?
Yeah,
and,
we were.
I bought a mic to do podcasts because I really thought, me and my couple of other friends were really going to go through this. And we just played this one game. I was pissed. And I'm like, bro, you know what, John? Let's make a podcast, bro. Called the Pissed Off Gamers Podcast, where we're just fucking pissed, right? So this is like, Bondahar, fuck you. Fuck this bullshit fucking game that you fucking made. Like, just going completely off, just said the most shot out shit. I think I called my mom out on some no fucking reason. But anyway, it's just like, I just went off. So it's just like, I was just like, hold on, let me grab my mic. I was like, and thank you guys for enjoying the podcast. Hope you guys see you guys later. So it's just like, I just went like, that's how it went. Like, so it's just, it all honestly started from a joke. Like, I never really thought we were going to go through with this until I got the text from John one day. It's like, bro, are you really down to do a podcast? Because like Alex would be down to do it too. I was like, yeah, fuck it. I mean, what we got to lose? Like, I mean, shit. So, I mean, yeah, it's kind of like how it all kind of started. And I mean, I'm glad I ended up doing it with you guys. Because I mean, if I did it with the other people, I mean, I don't think it would have went very well because personal issues.
Starting this, it's been an experience, you know? I didn't expect our first episode to actually break like 10 views. And now it's around like 30-ish, and our second episode like has over 40 the last time I checked. I was like, holy shit, this is actually, like going somewhere.
Yeah, and like before we started like the podcast, I was like telling you guys, it's just like podcast is something that like a lot of people need to start hopping in on. Like if you watch my boy Gary V, he'll say this every single fucking video he posts on YouTube. Like doing a podcast is so important, especially if you want to like start a business or something like that. Like do a podcast, because that is something that is just, it's not, people aren't jumping on that train. Like it's in your aspect of like how battle royale is. So it's just like, I think doing a podcast, it's super easy to do. You can do it straight from your phone and shit like that. If you just want to get a couple of friends, just bullshit. Like it's really what it is. Like the whole argument we just had was just like, it's an argument that we would just have like any other day if we're just sitting on our game and playing. Like it's just, that's why I like doing it in the aspect of gaming, because I mean, that's where most of my conversations end up going on. It's either that or sports. So it's just like, I mean, it's super easy to do. It's just, if you have like the right friends to do it, it can be fun to do. If you like talking about issues, if you like being the next fucking Keemstar or some shit, then just go and like do it. If you want to be in the eyes of Keemstar's asshole dumbass. But I mean, it's just like, yeah, I mean, just go ahead and like, just go ahead and do it. So I mean, it's a beneficial thing. Like financially, like if you can really do a podcast, I mean, if you want to like get word out and like to grow your business, I mean, definitely like do it, because I mean, who knows how this will go. If it keeps going good, then, and if we get more comments, if we get more viewers and shit like that, I mean, I don't care about that, but I mean, if it goes in that direction, then like great. That means like our work that we're doing is, it's going good, and it's like people are listening to us. It's just like, yeah, man, it's like podcasts. It's just super easy to also listen to. Like you can just be chilling in your car, like in a fucking snowstorm, and you're just stuck in traffic and shit, and you got like got a couple porno mags to your right in your passenger seat, and you're just like, you need something to listen to besides listening to fucking like John Legend on the radio. Just pop in a podcast or something like that and just listen to it, because I mean it's just it's beneficial.
It is.
Yeah, like,
and there's so many other podcasts out there too. Like if you literally want to listen to how plants grow, I'm definitely gonna know that there's a fucking podcast out there for you.
Yeah.
If you want to know what the fucking president, the president of the United States hair fucking look like today, I'm pretty sure there's probably a podcast out there for you for that one too, for any of your fucking Trump supporters. But it's just like, bro, there's so many other podcasts. If you don't like just listening to gaming, if you like listening to sports, if you like listening about, fucking book clubs or some shit like that, if you like listening about what the newest Lego set is being built right now, like, honest, they're fucking everywhere, bro. So just
there's a podcast out for it.
Yeah, there's a podcast out for everybody out there. Especially
like when John hit me up with an invite to do this, I was like, why not, dude? Let's do it. I love like talking about video games and stuff like that, and I've actually to start a podcast for a while. I was actually going to start one myself, and I didn't know that you guys were actually wanted to do one. So when you guys said, hey, when John said, hey, you want to do the podcast with Brennan and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
So,
I remember because Brandon put out a tweet like probably a year and a half ago, and he was talking about how he wants to do this podcast. And then I was like, bro, you should like get me on as a guest. He was like, you want to be on? I was like, hell yeah, dude. I'll talk about my mixtape.
I bought stuff for it. Like I said, I bought my microphone. I bought the microphone stand I have for it. I bought like the little I don't know what the fuck this thing that covers the mic. It's just to cover like some of the I don't know what the fuck it is. Anyways, but I was like, I just bought a lot of stuff for it because I was really wanting to do the podcast. Because I was like telling my mom, I was like, Mom, listen, I can do this shit. Like I could, if I do it right, I could probably make a couple bucks off of it, and shit like that. Like, and so it's just like, I mean, it's definitely something that you can really grow from if you do it right, and if you talk about what you want to talk about, if whatever your passion is. So I was like, sorry to get like sentimental and shit, but it's just like, it was a passion of mine. So it's just like, it was a goal that I wanted to do. So it's just like, went out and got that shit done, bro. Chase your dreams, bro.
Hell yeah. So our second and last question that we have, because Captain Viper actually left a lot of questions for us, but we actually answered them throughout the podcast. Just by putting them in the different sections that we talk about with games. So the second question and last question he had for was, how did you all get into gaming? So I got into gaming whenever I was about 5 or 6 years old. My birth dad had the original Xbox and a Japanese version GameCube. It was Chrome. It was all in Japanese. And I played it all the time.
That's pretty sick.
And then from there, I played the GameCube for about 3 years until it went to shit, and then I transitioned to the Nintendo 64. I transitioned back in time and played Mario Kart 64 all the time, and then my stepdad had a PlayStation 2, so I started playing that a lot, and then I had a Wii. Played those a lot, and then I just kind of stuck with the PlayStation, got a PlayStation 3, started gaming more on that. I actually met Alex. Like, me and Alex played a lot on the PlayStation, but we knew each other from school. But we didn't start to really get to know each other until we started gaming. And then from there, the rest is kind of history. I mainly play on the PS4 now.
Yeah.
A little bit on the Xbox, and that's that. I got into gaming just really from my parents and my peers.
yeah, definitely, because that's how I was too. Like, I vividly remember the first day I literally started like playing video games. I came home from school one day. My dad just got SOCOM, like the first SOCOM that dropped. Was it on PS1 or PS2? I don't know. I
don't remember.
But I remember coming home one day and finishing my homework, and I just sat down in the living room and I played SOCOM, and it's just like, it was such it was just a fucking whole different experience of like, I don't want to sound like cheesy shit, but like it just was like, it's just I'd never played video games before that. I think I did like play a little bit of like maybe like Prince of Persia on my aunt's GameCube, but that was honestly like it. So it's just like I really wasn't much into video games, but I will say like SOCOM was literally the game that made me really start gaming. But I mean, so it's just after that, that's when I got into Call of Duty. I beat those campaigns in the first day or second day it came out. So I ran through those shits. I didn't have online at the time, so it's just like that's all I played. Mm-hmm. So like shout out to like the World at War and Modern Warfare series and stuff like that, because I grinded the fuck out of those campaigns. But then when I got my PlayStation 3, my one best friend Darian and his one friend, we just were playing Black Ops 2, and we were just like fucking around, joined a sniper squad, like a sniper clan, and your boy, I little finesse that shit a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like kind of became a beast on that, and then went over. I will go into like the competitive wise, but it's just like that's what kind of happened. So it's like after that, I was like, I had to have been, it had to have been PlayStation 3 for Ghost, and I remember, playing, joining like one of my friends, and we joined a bunch of like competitive players. I will say like Nate Shot, it was Gumpy that really got me into like the competitive aspect. I was like, shit, I want to be where this fucking kid is. So it's just like, I kind of got into that with the Ghost, and then I went to like first couple of my local lands, and then it's just that the whole esports side of it just like really fascinated me. So it's like I did that for a couple of years, did that all the way through, and competed up until Black Ops 3, and then I decided to like take a step back away from that stuff. But I mean, it's just like that's how I got into gaming. I grinded the shit out of SOCOM, grinded the shit out of Gears of War, and so I mean, definitely like that shit. Yeah, for sure. That was like definitely why I got into like gaming, was because maybe those two games right there. Mm-hmm. So
the first, this is like kind of off topic, but the first ever like rated M game I ever played and owned was Grand Theft Auto 3. You know who talked me into it? My own mother. My own mother talked me in to buying Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
And the guy at GameStop kept on asking her. She's like, "Are you sure you want your kid playing this?
Which one was it?
Was
it Vice City?
No, Grand Theft Auto 3. Like it was an actual title, Grand Theft Auto 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the first Grand Theft Auto I played was Vice City.
Really? And then like from there, I just kind of played rated M games ever since.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my mom was pissed when she came home the one day from work and just saw me playing SOCOM, because she did not want me playing that. Like, I remember like I did, like that's how I got into shooters, but it's like I did play like Star Wars Episode 3, like the Lego edition of that. Mm-hmm. So it was like I played that shit a lot. But it's just like when I got into shooters, and like my mom was like kind of pissed at that, but then she got over it fast, and I mean, yeah. So it's just she's the one that bought me fucking Grand Theft Auto, and so
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So Alex, you're the last person.
I know, I'm the last person to talk here. So I got into gaming. I came home from like when I was in kindergarten, and my mom had a PlayStation 1 sitting in the living room, and she's like, "Here you go, figure it out." So I figured it out. The only game we had was Spyro the Dragon. Old school.
Oh, that's a throwback.
Retro throwback game now.
And it just got remastered recently.
I know. I want to get it so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I would play that like hours on end, and then I switched up to what it wasn't San Andreas. It was what GTA was on PlayStation 1? G.
Tell me, it had to be City.
Vice, you're saying?
It had to have been.
I think, if it's Vice, then Vice or whatever.
It's either that
or San Andreas.
Like, no, San Andreas came out on PS2.
It had to have been either like Vice City or like the one.
No, Vice City was on the PS2.
Oh, it was?
The original
had-
GTA. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
So that was like
And then
the
I
one where
also
it was,
got like
overlooked.
NASCAR 2002. So I was playing 3 games, and then we switched over. No, then I also got Madden 1998 since I couldn't get any others. Then I switched up to PlayStation 2. Of course, first game was San Andreas, GTA San Andreas, and Saints Row 2. I think that's when it came out. Yeah,
No, Saints Row 2 was on the
3. Really?
PS3, yeah.
Really?
PS3 and Xbox 360.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when Saints Row was introduced.
Saints Row, the original Saints Row, a couple other first-person shooters. I think SOCOM. There was a SOCOM for PS2.
Yeah, there was a couple.
Yeah,
A bunch of
I
them.
forget which one though. Madden, of course, and some other. Oh my God, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, the original.
The old originals. Oh,
Dude, I would play that on hours on end.
oh man.
I
They're so
loved
good.
that game.
Need for Speed Most Wanted, the
Yep.
original,
Yep.
not the reboot.
Bro,
Yep.
my sister
Original.
would whoop my ass in that game all the time. That and Guitar, like
I was so good at Guitar Hero. That was my game.
And then I got a PlayStation 3 when it came out. Got Black Ops 2, everything like that, San Andreas. And then my friend Conrad gave me his Xbox One original, like his original Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
And all he had was Madden on it. So we would play Madden on a box TV with the yellow, red, and blue cable for the
For the picture.
And whenever the TV would come out, I'd smack the top and side of the TV to get it to work.
Bro, that is honestly, bro. That's childhood right there, bro. Because I was like, having the hook up,
dude. I remember like that because I had
like
this. I had this old ass box TV, you know.
Yeah.
And I had the PS3, and I'd have to because the ports were so old on it, dude. I'd have to bend the red, yellow, white cords down a bunch and put a weight at the bottom just so the picture would pop up on the TV.
John,
yeah, because they didn't have the HDMI cable.
Yeah,
John,
bro.
You know what TV I'm talking about? The one that's destroyed on top of my head now. That's the TV Connor and I used to play on.
Yeah, bro. I remember smacking the shit out of my TV sometimes just to get my fucking screen to come on. That's just how you did it. With the Nintendo 64 and shit like that, you had to blow in.
Lasted too.
Yeah, it did. I eventually found out if you blew into the fucking cassette things for the Nintendo game console, that didn't do anything.
No,
it didn't help. But it's I swear to God, bro, it had to. It had to. There's no way it didn't. So that's childhood, bro.
I'm pretty sure it was 3 to 4 months after the PlayStation 4 came out, I got the Fat Boy PS4.
And
I
got
Fat Boy PS3.
I had the Fat Boy PS3 too. I still have it actually.
That thick ass motherfucker.
Yeah. And I have then I got the Fat PS4, the first gen PS4, 3 months after it came out, and then a year later I switched up to the first gen PS4 Pro. And now I'm actually have to get a new one since it keeps overheating. I actually have to play with my cover off on my system. Then some shit happened with PlayStation saying I bought a bunch of shit when I didn't. So I got an Xbox One as well, Xbox One S. And basically, the only thing I play on my Xbox is Forza. And everything else is on my PlayStation.
Yeah, I mainly just play on the PlayStation now.
Yeah, how my gaming career started, you could say.
Yeah, slapping TVs and
bending AV cords.
I would punch the hell out of that TV to get it to work, yo.
I remember that, bro. That's
so. Is there anything else we want to say before we conclude the 3rd episode of the Pissed Off Gamers podcast?
As usual, leave a like, leave a comment. I think we should kind of if we do get a lot more questions, I think we should kind of do this more often for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, definitely for no doubt, just leave a comment. Leave a question if you want for us to ask. We'll definitely get to it in the next episode. But yeah, man, hit that motherfucking subscribe button, and but again, Vondahar, you're a real scumbag motherfucker, bro. So you and your company. So
I'll say one more thing. Sorry, guys. It's been about an hour and 35 minutes since we've started this podcast. We started around 6:15. So this would probably be the only longest podcast like this. Hopefully, we were trying to keep around an hour. So I'll say sorry about that already.
The last one was an hour 20.
This is our longest so far. I'm pretty sure.
but it was
gonna get longer.
definitely a good conversation though.
It was.
Yeah,
for sure.
great conversations.
So
And Captain Viper, I hope we answered all your questions correctly. If you have any more questions, of course, always hit us up in the comments. You know me personally, so you can always ask me the questions. I can relay them to Brandon and John here. So,
And also, folks, it's getting to be that time of the year. Snow's coming down. It's getting cold.
gotta get
Car's gonna get all icy.
Gotta get your hot chocolate.
You're gonna go to
You know.
Starbucks, get your
Vondahar's being a dick
steamed
like
drink.
usual.
And gotta get your motherfucking eggnog.
But just remember, stay warm out there.
and listen to the motherfucking stay pissed.
Exactly. You gotta stay
Yeah.
pissed too.
Yeah, stay pissed. Yell at yell at when you're driving in the
If-
snow on an icy road. Yell at that motherfucker. Yell at that old man or woman that's driving slow as fuck next to you. Yell at her. Go ahead. Yell at
Yeah.
her. Just yell. Now, if you have to, maybe like stab her tire. I mean,
No, don't do that.
Don't
yo.
do that.
I mean,
Don't do that.
Don't
That's
do
a
it.
crime, yeah.
Listen, bro. If you have to key your car, key your motherfucking car, dog. She wanna drive that slow, bro.
Don't do
Do
that
it.
You
either,
are
yo.
a bad influence. A very
Do it.
bad
Bad
Listen,
boy.
bro. Listen. But you know what, bro? Stay pissed off. If you're a pissed off gamer, please come watch us. We're pissed off with you.
Exactly.
So man, yeah, stay pissed off, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
So that concludes the Pissed Off Gamers podcast, episode 3. We hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to leave a like,
Jazz music.
a comment, and subscribe to
Yeah,
our
bro, you better play some jazz, not that country music you put in the last episode, bro.
Now
I don't
I'm
know
just
what
getting
that was.
ratted out for it.
I don't know what that was, bro. Like, you put in some like rock music, bro. You better put in some. I don't even care. Put in some Frank Sinatra or something like that.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah,
Frank's
thank
good,
you.
man.
Thank you very much for tuning in with us for however long this podcast was. And we hope to see you in the next episode.
Yeah, now
Peace.
cue that motherfucking jazz beat.